Hello, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to show you a game in which I played three pieces against a queen. It's a really interesting game because you have to analyze the subtleties that led to a crazy position like this. I will show you the opening, which is a really interesting line against the Scotch. I will show you how we reached the three pieces against queen and uh, the ideas that the engine had with the three pieces against the queen and what I played. So we get into it. I was black. I'm going to show you. E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, D4, pawn takes, knight takes. Usually I play bishop C5, but I have a new prep. That's knight F6. And after knight C3, I play knight takes E4. And there's a really dry line with knight takes knight. After knight takes queen, knight takes queen, knight takes F7. There, you could think that there's knight f2, but it doesn't really work. So just play king takes knight after bishop c4, king f6, king takes knight and c6. You're going for d5 and things like that. And that's the idea. Okay, sorry. So my opponent went for the natural move, knight takes knight, queen e7, f3. He took a long time for this move because I suppose he wanted to look at the lines. After d5, bishop b5, strong idea. Bishop d7, and he castled. The idea is probably to take bishop takes knight always. Bishop takes knight, and that's a fine position. But instead he castled, and then he went rook e1. After long castle and rook takes e4, I'm better. With the move queen f6, because then I bring the bishop, and I'm in a really comfortable position with a lot of development. He has a worse structure, and I have a lot of activity, a lot. So this was better. But instead I played queen c5, which is not a wrong move, but not that great. And my opponent played bishop e3 here, and here I played a6, because I calculated that at knight takes knight, attacking my queen, I just played bishop takes knight. After bishop takes queen, I took, and after, I don't know, king h1, rook takes queen, rook takes, I took the rook, and I was completely winning. So, that was my calculation. But the thing is that I could have made that, but in a better way with bishop d6. And if knight takes knight, I do this, bishop takes queen, bishop takes. And this is a really good position. Okay, so this is the same, and here I think I take. I don't really know if the tactic, no, the tactic doesn't work anymore, so this and this. And then I have a great position. Yeah, minus 0.7, not that strong position, but a good one. As I told you, this was the tactical idea. Instead, I played a6 with that calculation because I didn't like a move like this that looked really bad. After bishop takes bishop and rook takes, I thought rook e8, and this looked terrible. Took this rook, king takes, and I saw bishop takes knight, yeah. And yeah, this just looks really bad. Queen d6 only move. Yeah, this was my calculation. I just thought this was bad. Well, and the engine agrees. Not that bad as I thought. So I thought this was probably like a +1, something like that. But, well, you don't want to enter this from such a good position. Okay, so a6, and my opponent just went crazy. Not crazy, actually, but he probably thought that I was just gonna chicken out and just gonna move back my queen, and okay. But what I did was, take, of course, taking the bishop, and after 96, queen f5 was the best move. Queen f5 is the best move for the engine. Actually, it thinks a long time, and it really doesn't decide about my move on queen f5. But queen f5 is winning. I thought that after knight takes rook, this was risky, but after knight takes knight, it's just winning. Like 2 pieces for a rook, I'm just completely winning. I thought it was complicated, but I don't really know why. I just thought a4, oh, but a4 doesn't work. Rook d1, yeah, just nothing works. This is completely winning. Instead, I decided to go for bishop takes knight, which is a good move as well. As you see, it's completely winning. And After bishop takes queen, of course, I took back, and here, what I wanted to show you is the engine idea. Knight d4, really strong. And yours is better. The three pieces are really well coordinated. You have good rooks. The rook in e4, it's not doing a thing. It's a really bad rook. And I have a lot of counterplay. I just thought queen f1, and then it was still a complicated position, but it's just not. Just completely winning. But, well, this was the thing I calculated at first. But then I saw bishop d5, and I thought it was just more simple. Like, I win a rook and two pieces should be more winning than just three pieces for a queen. But in this case, it's not true because then you lose one of the strongest pieces you have to coordinate with, and then it's more difficult. Queen takes b5, a great sacrifice, and bishop takes rook, and queen takes bishop. And here, I thought about rook d5, which is a strong idea as well, to then get my other rook into the party, and then I'm in a really good position. Here, I thought queen c4, but I have rook d8, really strong move, and it's actually winning, because after pawn takes, rook d8, queen takes, queen, rook takes, and I just up a piece. So, well, I'm gonna show you just, so you know, queen f1, and then I take the queen, and it's completely winning. It's okay. But I didn't play this, I just played bishop g6, which is the best move, actually. And after h4, which is a huge loss of a tempo, it's winning. My position is winning here. But if a4, then it could have been complicated. a4, a5, a6, and the game gets messy. Instead, my opponent wastes the move with h4, which doesn't do a thing, because I just play rook e8, and I get two rooks to the attack, and h5 doesn't work because of rook e5. So my opponent played a4 now. Now I got my rook in, and then I'm getting my other rook in. In this case, not because of queen f8, and then I have to go back, but that's just not really a problem. a5, I take on c2. After queen b5, I use my opportunity to win a tempo, and here I thought my opponent will go queen b3, and well, it just felt completely winning. Rook e2, and that was my whole pawn, or knight a5, which knight a5 was my idea, and then rook e2, exactly. At some point, not rook e2 that hangs a knight. But my opponent played queen a4, and that just loses the game on the spot with rook takes a5. Then, in the post-game analysis, he told me that he wanted to... He didn't care, actually. But I don't really understand that point of view. If you keep playing on, you have to still fight, like still have a fighting spirit mentally. If not, you just resign. Like if you don't want to keep fighting, then just resign. That's the thing. That's my opinion. Like if you don't want to play, just resign. Like this is part. But instead, he just played on, of course, because it's not a position to resign. But why would you think, well, because it's objectively losing, I don't have to play good moves anymore. I just don't understand. He played instantly, and then he told me he didn't care. I don't think that's the right mindset, but well, I don't really care. That's the mindset of my opponent, and I'm fine with it. It helped me win. Okay, queen g4, an idea for a resource, but f5, queen g5, rook takes rook, and well, rook takes b2, and the game is completely over. I played rook a2, queen e3, rook takes g2, rook h1, bishop takes h5. So I've probably played this. Like this is simple move too. Okay. I don't do that. I just took an h5. And here, after queen 6 and king b8, I got scared for a moment. And into my mind came a stalemate. Like I actually popped into my head. A stalemate. Like if I am not careful, I can blunder a stalemate. Then I saw the pawn, I was fine. And then my mind, I don't know why, calculated bishop takes f3 again. Like, why? You have thought of this already. Stalemate. Because the idea of bishop f3 was this. My my calculation was this. And GG's. But of course, that's completely wrong. And my opponent would play Queen C8, and that would have been so embarrassing. That would have been so bad. And then a draw. Imagine you draw this position. That would have been crazy, crazy bad. But I realized it, and I just played Rook B2, completely winning position. I won this game. A really nice game, actually. And then I went on to win the next two games. I'm doing a blog about it. I will put it in the description. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You like the imbalance of three pieces against a queen, but in the end it didn't really last. I just went for the rook and two pieces instead. I don't know if that's a practical mistake. I think it's objectively a mistake, but I think it's practically good. And well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. Thank you for saying. Bye.